Knights of Apollo, what is up, guys? Hope you're doing well, and welcome back to another Rome 2 Siege battle. This is the continuation of the TWL Siege Tournament Season 8, and once again, you are going to witness another Group C matchup. This is the Crimson Chickens versus the W.Whumsars. Now, I do want to say that Group C is getting awfully spicy. Alright, so pretty much everyone except for the Gorilla Boys, like everyone is fighting for second place. It is insanely close. Everyone has a chance of making second place right now, so every battle just feels like a playoff environment. The intensity. It's crazy, guys. It is crazy, and it's going to be really exciting to see how this is going to end. It's going to be a photo finish. Now, in this matchup with the Crimson Chickens and the W.Whumsars, we do have some different dynamics going on here. So, for example, the W.Whumsars, they are on defense in this battle. And this is actually their last matchup. So, they're done after this. They've played everyone, and they're 1 in 3, I believe, or 1 in 6? No. Yeah, 1 in 5. They're 1 in 5. So they're going to try to get some last-minute wins here to try to, pad their points to get them in second place. Now, for us, the Crimson Chickens, this is our second to last matchup. So winning here, obviously, winning is going to be vital. If we can win, it makes our journey to the top, our journey to second place, that much easier. So, of course, winning is important, but I would say for the W.Whumsars, winning is absolutely vital, because if they don't win here, they're not going to make it. They got to get some, because right now they have a total of 4 points, and at the time of this battle, the second place team has 8 points. So they got to try to pad up their points, because the team that's in second is the Ursos team, and they have 2 more battles like we do. So they are kind of a little bit ahead of the game. So for the W.Whumsars to make the playoffs, they have to gain as many points as possible from this matchup, and they're certainly doing that. They're going Aravachi and this Masagati. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a Cav faction. They're worth plus 2 points. Aravachi is a neutral 0 faction, so if they win this battle, they'll gain 4 points, and that will put them with 8 points, which would put them in 3rd place, or I guess tied for 2nd place. But of course, that wouldn't be enough, because they need more, right? The Ursos most likely will get more points because they have 2 more games to play. So they definitely want to try to get a ton of points from this matchup if they want any chance for 2nd place. Now, the Crimson Chickens, on the other hand, that's my team. We are at 5 points, and like I said, we've got 2 more matchups, including this one. So, yeah, we've got Ruvak playing as Epirus, and they are a +1 faction, and then I'm playing as Gaety, which is a +1 faction. So if we win this, we'll actually get 5 points, 3 for attacking, and then plus the 2 for our 2 factions. So it's a big matchup here. You can see it's a sally out, no surprise. That's why the battle is fairly quick here, because it's going to get intense fast. Now, since I played in this battle, like I said, I was Gaety, we can really analyze the strategy and our mindset going into this battle. Our plan here was to get all the siege equipment to the walls as quick as humanly possible, and to maintain a strong box. All right, a strong box around our vulnerable units like our archers. So, a very intense fight indeed. So right now we're just trying to get these 3 tortoises to the walls, and that is going to be our main entry point, because keep in mind, the only thing defending these walls right now is one faction. It's Aravachi. So we need to try to get in there as quick as possible. Looks like we're going to have our first engagement. We got some step lancers getting close. The W.Whumsars decide not to engage there, and they're going to wait for a better opportunity. We also have some horse archers in position of the flanks of our troops. It looks like they're looking for a weak spot. By the way, I turned on projectile trailing. It doesn't look as realistic, but in terms of a tournament environment, it's very useful because it makes the shots more visible. So if you're playing in a tournament, and yeah, they're gonna annihilate this unit of levies, which is not a big deal. And here comes a cav charge, charging right into these mercenary Samnite warriors. I've got some mercenary axe warriors coming in to support. And at this point, you know, there's not much we can do except take the brunt. We got to just take the hits until these tortoises get into position. Now, unfortunately, if you see here, the center tortoise glitches out. You see this? It's just shaking. You see it? It just looks like it's torquing. Yeah, it's not. I'm telling him, like, attack, attack, please attack the wall, please attack. And I'm like watching this cav like trample men, you know. I'm like, come on, please attack, just break the freaking wall. It doesn't. So I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go with this one first, because you got to do one at a time, because if you don't, they'll glitch and not break the walls completely. So we're just doing it one at a time here. We're gonna bring down the walls. So far, not too bad. You know, we're just kind of like, we're maintaining our position. You can see that this player, or the winged Whumsars, he's looking for different opportunities here. Here comes another charge. A nice double stacked layer here from Ruvak. And he's letting loose some javies here with the mercenary Italian swords. Definitely softens them up quite a bit. Here comes another charge. Really trying to capitalize on this formation being disrupted. Once again, more javies come in. We're doing a pretty good job here of keeping back the cav. And again, guys, the sooner we can get to these walls, the more likely we'll win this. The longer we sit out here, the more likely we are going to get destroyed, because it's going to give opportunity for this cav to get some kills. Now, he was shooting at my nobles, unfortunately. This is my best unit, so I just, you know, I make sure I face the arrows and I form shield wall. It sucks, it really does, but there's not much I can do about it. I can't like retreat and run because it would leave the archers open to attack. So that's the thing about Gatey. They're pretty much an elite spam. Like, all they really have in their roster, they don't really have like low tier, medium tier, high tier. They just have high tier. They just have an elite spam that you have to bring. And that's basically the heart of my army, which is these noble swords. So if they die, they're screwed, guys. They are screwed. There we go. I'm starting to send in more troops. Every minute that goes by, we're tightening and tightening and tightening our position. Really trying. It's like as soon as troops start funneling in here, we're going to keep tightening and tightening and tightening and cover less and less ground. There comes another charge with Cav. Nice little stand by Ruvak. He's doing a great job with these javies. Look at that. Multi-layered. This is what you have to do. We got a counter charge by Ruvak, trying to help out and get some kills, try to kill more of this cav so it's less of a problem later. Nice job by Ruvak there with the cav, but the winged Whumsars have been doing a good job here with their cav, trying to constantly harass us. Here comes another charge from stepped armored lancers. These guys are nasty. Nice volley there. Look at that. Nice volley. Let's go. Crimson Chickens, we're here. We're ready. Ready for this cav play. You know, to be honest, we kind of didn't expect the cav in this. We didn't think they were actually going to go cav, because I don't know. I guess we thought they were going to go Arvace Lusitani, something like that. But we saw the cav and we thought, okay, this is either going to be very good or very bad. Either their strategy is going to work out pretty nicely or it's going to fall on their face, because this cav play is a bit of a risk. That's why they're such high points. I'm going to go ahead and form shield wall here. He sees that, he calls off the charge. And that's the great thing about the noble swords, is that they can form a shield wall. My mercenary axe warriors cannot form a shield wall. So that's why they're kind of sitting behind the nobles. And I'm constantly trying to deal with the horse archers who are harassing my men. And here we go. We've begun the assault for the inner city or the inner works of the city. I've got some spears that led the way. It sucks. The spears are really crappy. They're just kind of, you know, meat shields at this point. But they're getting hit hard by slingers. And man, Aravachi slingers, they're like the best in the game, and they have so much ammo. Look at that. Now he's going for the troops up on the walls. Look at that. He's missing mostly, so that's good. Back over this way. Look at this. Ah, kind of missed it here, but this was a great play by the winged Whumsars. They found a tiny gap here, and now they're getting my archers. Look at that. You see this? They are getting my archers, and this is just terrible news for us. It really, all it takes is one little mistake, and this cav is broken through our lines, and he's attacking our vulnerable units. Losing archers like this is a drastic loss. I'm trying to gather up my infantry. Here comes another charge of cav. I kind of counter-charged there a little bit. Get up, soldiers. Hack and slash. Just stab the horses. Bring down the riders. Oh, man, that cav is brutal. And they're still fighting this stupid cav that's in the mix of my archers. I thought they would break so quick. But notice every couple minutes we tighten our positioning here. I'm sending over more infantry to help deal with this cav. They just won't die. Look at this. That Lancers still have 46, 45. Unbelievable. Back over this way. We're losing our ground here. Our Avachi makes a great play here. Notice how my biggest mistake so far in this attack was my positioning of the tortoises. They should have been right next to each other. There should have been a big open space. Now that there's these little spaces, our Avachi can take advantage of that and hold each of these spots individually. Tragic, very tragic. I start letting loose some arrows, trying to soften up our Avachi, who is pretty weak to archer fire. So I'm trying to soften up his infantry. The balance of power is still in our favor, guys. Keep that in mind. It's been in our favor, mostly because the opponent went with a cav faction. And then Ruvak going in, trying to surround these noble lancers. It's a tough fight, guys. This is some nasty cav. Nasty cav. Now we're moving up. We're regrouping, and it's like, it's do or die. We're hanging around too much. We just got to get in here. I still have my infantry up on the walls here. I'm going to send them down, try to finish up this Iberian swordsman. It's a crap unit. I can get it out of there. So he's got some Scutari. More Iberian swordsmen. It's do or die. We got to get in there. My noble swords, they got to get some blood. Here comes Ruvak. He's sending in some levies. And here we go. This is it. I'm sending up my nobles and mercenary axe warriors. They're going in, baby. It's time to get their swords wet. Let's go. Into their bellies. Let's charge. Medium axe warriors. We got more, not medium, mercenary axe warriors. Look at that, just close in. He's gonna flank me, but it's just like, there's not much we can do about that. See, that's the problem with this stupid wall. It makes it harder for me to flank and deal with that situation. But right now, we're just trying to use mass numbers. Get in there. Start hacking away. It's just one player. Get our units in here and fight. Fight, damn you. All right, here's some of my archers that broke from the cav charge, but they recovered. The only thing is that they're on an island of their own, basically. And that enemy cav, they still got a chunk of enemy cav, including the general, which is always a threat. It's always a threat. Here we go. And of course, all that archer fire coming in. I've charged in with spears initially to try to absorb that archer fire. I just need to get a foothold somewhere in this settlement. We can just start. There we go. And he's starting to fall back. Notice he's falling back. That's going to open it up so I can pour in more troops. He is going to continue to sling on me, but there's not much I can do about that. More and more slinging. Look at this. Damn these slingers. Damn them. They're killing my men. But we got to keep pushing. What can we do? What can we do? We just got to get in there and fight. Get in there and fight. And of course, they're going to countercharge. They're going to do everything in their power to keep us out of this city. Good for them. Good for them. No, but seriously, W.Whumsars, they're doing a good job here. Here we go. This is a cool vibe, though. I like the vibe of this battle. It's just chaotic and just feels lifelike, you know? Just very all over the place. Yes, what an epic struggle! Back over this way. I've pretty much committed all of my infantry into the fight except for 2 units of noble swords, one of those being my general. We are finally seeing the Aravachi begin to break. Pretty soon, we will gain a foothold through here. Ruvak has most of his forces in reserve, trying to maintain the rear against the enemy infantry. Trying to keep my some of my infantry well rested here, so they can hide behind these buildings and make it harder for these slingers to hit them. That's the nice thing with slingers when you're facing them. If you have any obstacles standing in your way, take advantage of it. Here comes some noble swords coming to flank, and we are making some progress here, guys. We are chipping away. The bounce power still in our favor, baby. Still in our favor. Still in our favor. Let's go. All right, so noble swords in the fight. Noble swords charging in. Look at this fight. Two teams desperate for second place. Doing everything they can to win. My archers are just firing at the infantry at this point. You know, I was so scarred because I lost so much. I lost so many archers to the enemy cav. I was like, you know what? Let me just start using this ammo, because if they try to charge me again, oh my God, you're wasting ammo, you idiots! Look at this, wasting ammo on these guys. Come on, that sucks. All right, I'm having to send some noble swords over to the other side. Their backs are exposed though, so they're gonna get they're gonna get hit. But there's not much I can do about it. I guess I could have waited, but I gotta send in some extra support here. Over on this side, it's getting a little weird with the formations, but we are making a dent into the Aravachi army. And I'm looking at what's left, and guys, I mean, this is still a little bit of a problem here. The slingers, of course, are a problem, you know, but like I don't see much from their army. And the balance of power is still in our favor. Still feeling good about this. Here comes another charge from the Cav. This is where this Cav faction is going to get desperate, because they realize they're running out of time, and pretty soon our army is going to be in the ranks. And oh my gosh, this noble lancers going in, just ridiculous. But we're making progress, folks. We're making progress. The general, the noble fighters themselves have joined the mix. Noble fighters versus noble swords. And yeah, so they're in the mix, and they're also in the firing range of my archers. So naturally, I'm gonna just use up all my ammo on these noble fighters, because if I can kill the general, it could cause a mass rout. Unfortunately, we broke over here. Ruvak's having to send in infantry, mercenary Samnite warriors. I'm now gonna send in reinforcements. I got some mercenary axemen over here. They're gonna go over and help with that. This is it. Like, we just get everybody in. I think at this point we're like, all right, everybody in. We just gotta go, because this is a problem. This is a problem. Here we go. More archer fire coming down. Die! Die, you noble fighters! Die! Noble fighters are really good, but my archers are racking up some kills. Woo! This is getting spicy. Here comes some noble swords closing in. This is my general. I'm going to go ahead and run him over to here in this corner, just so I can use some general abilities, protect him from skirmish fire, all that jazz. Oh my gosh! Mercenary Axe Warriors fighting their hearts out. The Scudatari still causing some problems. The Slingers have an endless amount of ammo. An endless amount of ammo. Just firing and firing and firing. Quick, get inside. Quick, it's safe in here. It's nice and warm. Get inside. Yeah, we're desperately trying to get back into the walls here. It's a great struggle. A mighty struggle. Oh, man. Ruvak sending in his cav. We're just desperately trying to break them. I've got some spears that came back from routing. I'm going to use them as a rear guard against the enemy cav. And they just won't break. We need them to break, because if they break, we can focus our attention behind us. Because here comes the cav, and they're cleaning up what's left of our forces out there. Oh my gosh, this general won't die. He's down to 78 troops. Combat. He's losing the combat. That's a promising side. We got to kill the general. The balance of power is still in our favor, but only just. Looks like they used some sort of ability there. What does this do? Bonus versus cav. Bonus versus elephants. Interesting. And we're fine. I decide to use Headhunter. I'm just doing everything I can to try to kill the general that charged in here. But look at this, guys. He's been in here for a few seconds. Still has 77 men. He's only lost 3 men. He's only lost 3 men. What can you do against such reckless hate? A cav that just chooses not to die. He just will not die. Will not die. So he lost 5 men in that charge against my noble swords. Now he's charging over in the backs over here, causing a mass rout with Epirus. We have no answer. We have no answer to the cav. The general, 37 men still fighting, chooses not to break. He's inspiring. An inspiring general. I'll give him that. There you go. Look at the slingers just have an endless amount of ammo. Now it's up to my general to get the job done. The balance of power is still in our favor. And I'm charging in the general once again. Using shield wall to try to brace against this cav. Here comes the general again. I'm turning around my unit of infantry, my noble swords who just won their fight. Hurry, noble swords, hurry! Here comes the enemy general. Ruvak sends in his general. Hellenistic royal cav. But is it enough? He's only lost 1! He's lost 1 man! Charging in brute force, loses 1 man. I charge in my general, do everything I can. I've got him cornered. Ruvak's general's breaking. The slingers still have ammo, hitting the backs of my swords. I'm desperately trying to get my swords out of there so they can help the general. Please keep moving. No! The slingers! The balance of power is now shifted in favor of the dreaded W.Whumsars. And it's so close, though. If we can get a lucky general kill, anything's possible. But this cav won't die. It just won't die. And I'm pretty much telling all my infantry, like, kill this general. Kill him. This is it. This is our moment. We can kill the general right here. Right now. Come on. Charge. There we go. He's got nowhere to go. He's cornered, but here comes Aravachi. And I'm going to turn my extra noble swords to deal with these slingers, try to kill them. And sure enough, we're getting surrounded, and unfortunately, the cav faction was just too much for us. And quite honestly, I'm, in the moment, I think I was pretty upset about the loss, but looking back at it, there's really not much we could have done there. I thought we played that pretty perfectly. I would say our biggest mistakes was his little sneak charge to get our archers and not destroying the walls properly. If we did that properly, I think we would have filtered in a little bit better here. It would have been harder for Aravachi to hold. And we would have ended up with 5 points if we could have just... it was tough. It was tough, and it sucks. It really does. But it was a valiant fight from the W.Whumsars, a great fight. And they did a good job with that cav play. Did everything right. We were a little sloppy, I think. And to be honest, I really, when we were working and practicing for this match, I don't think we really expected them to go cav, because we just assumed, like, if they went cav, it could be an automatic victory. But yeah, they did a good job, and they earned 4 points, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 4 points total there. So that's going to put them at 8 points. That puts them above us. They now tie us in terms of total victories. So they have 2, we have 2, and it's going to move on to the next round, which is where we are going to be on defense. Now, let me say this: is the next match a must-win? Yes. It is a must-win. If we don't win, are we out of the tournament? No, we're not out of the tournament. Remember, even after this one, we have another match. But is the next match a must-win? Abso-freaking-lutely. All right. So we'll see if we can recover and try to even this match. 1-1. We each win one. It's gonna be intense. It's gonna be fierce, and that will be coming out the very next day, guys. Thank you. Oh wait, let's look at the results. Here's the results. My archers did not perform, and that's one of the reasons is because they got run down by Cav. Now, actually, you know what? I forgot to mention this. The W.Whumsars actually only got 3 points for this victory because I didn't see it, and I didn't even see it in the replay. I'm sure it was there somewhere, but they pulled through during a specific situation during this battle, so they were punished -1 points. So they got 3 points here. So actually, they're at 7 points. They're still ahead of us in terms of points, but yeah, they have 7 points here because of a pull through. I didn't really see it, but yeah, that was a rough fight. It was messy. We could have done better there, but it was a valiant fight and it was close. So off to the next one. Again, guys, coming out tomorrow. Also, don't forget, if you want to watch all the battles of all the different groupings, they're all linked down in the video description. Also, there's a link to the Discord for this tournament, so you can follow your favorite teams and everything like that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. It was a lot of fun. And I'll see you in Game 2 with the Crimson Chickens versus the W.Whumsars.